Kim Kardashian is one of the most recognized celebrities in the world. She is a successful businesswoman, author, and social media celebrity. Her companies employ many people and have documented some, what I believe to be, odd employment policies enforced by her management staff. So that got me to thinking, can the average company use these odd employment policies and get away with it? Before I start, I will define odd as a policy that is not normally used by the average company. One of Kim Kardashian's odd employment policies include job applicants being subjected to additional interviews with a casting agency, as well as job applicants being required to submit a series of headshots. The casting agencies are employed by the Kardashian company to assist with the hiring process by taking headshots of Kim Kardashian's job applicants as well as video. Kim Kardashian's company provides the casting agency with all of the information needed about what type of person Kim Kardashian needs for a specific role. For example, a housekeeper or nanny. I'm speculating that the job applicant could be asked to respond to questions on video and could even be asked to act out various scenarios that could possibly happen if they were employed by Kim Kardashian. Can the average company add this odd employment policy and get away with it? Can your company request a job applicant to meet with a casting agency for an executive position? How about asking an applicant to submit a series of headshots for a cashier's position? Before your company runs out and hires a casting agency to aid in your employee search, please be prepared to answer questions such as why such services are needed. Kim Kardashian has valid reasons for doing this, and I'm again speculating that using casting agencies is consistently utilized in her hiring process for roles that could be accidentally filmed or photographed in the background of her show, as well as protecting her brand. It is important for your company to consider whether or not the laws in the state where your business resides allows casting agents and headshot submissions to be part of the average company's hiring process. If your company would like to employ the services of a casting agency as part of its hiring process, it will need to consider how much your job applicants will be willing to comply with this step. Also, think about what your company would do if the job applicant refuses to or is unable to meet with your casting agency. Finally, your company may have to prove why this odd employment policy is necessary for available positions, especially if the policy is not consistently enforced. Kim Kardashian can get away with using this odd employment policy as her company is not, in my opinion, considered average. Can your company use this policy and get away with it? I don't think the average company can use this employment policy and get away with it. Let me know in the comment section if you would go forward meeting a casting agency and submitting headshots and acting out your position in front of a camera for a position that pays $20 an hour. Here's an odd employment policy. Kim Kardashian does not allow jewelry to be worn if you are employed in her home or if you live in her home as part of your employment. I'm speculating that not allowing jewelry means wedding rings, bracelets, necklaces, earrings, and such. The question is, can your company apply this odd employment policy to your HR arsenal and get away with it? Well, the answer to this question is not as straightforward as it may seem. In general, employers are allowed to impose a dress code that may include prohibiting employees from wearing any type of jewelry. When worn at work, jewelry could pose a major hazard and cause serious injury depending on your job. Can the average company use Kim Kardashian's no jewelry employment policy and get away with it? Yes, the average company can get away with adding this employment policy to its employee handbook as part of its dress code. My advice would be to check the laws in the state where the business resides and the needs of the company. Having an employment policy that requires signed confidentiality agreements is not an odd employment policy by itself. But I'm guessing that Kim Kardashian's employment confidentiality agreements are probably beefier than, let's say, my employment confidentiality agreement. I've never seen Kim Kardashian's employee confidentiality agreement, but I can only speculate that it is filled with some terms and conditions not commonly used in the average employment confidentiality agreement. Can the average company use this odd policy and get away with it? Yes, your company can and should utilize Kim Kardashian's employment confidentiality agreement policy at your company, but leave out any of the odd stuff. Consult with your company's employment attorney and draft up an employee confidentiality agreement that best serves the needs of your company. To be employed by Kim Kardashian, you would be expected to follow this odd employment policy at all times. Odd to me because I'm speculating that there is an incredibly above and beyond strict dress code employment policy that must be followed by most employees, regardless of the position. Hair, facial grooming, clothes, makeup, handbags, shoes, nails, everything must be on point. I am speculating that this policy is important since your physical appearance indirectly reflects on the Kim Kardashian brand. I'm also speculating that there would be some bad press if an employee was caught on camera in the background wearing tattered clothing or sloppily dressed. Can't see there being such a thing as casual Fridays, or at least not on a regular basis. Question: can the average company add this type of extreme dress code employment policy and get away with it? Yes, if this is part of your employee handbook, or if there is a specific need for employees to reflect on the company's brand by way of showing up for work polished and well-groomed, then yes, you can add this employment policy. In fact, people normally dressed impeccably through the early to mid 1900s. One of Kim Kardashian's odd employment policies, and I personally think this is odd, there are no set hours for some positions like nannies or housekeepers. Based on what I've read, nannies, for example, are on call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year without question. I'm talking availability at all times of the day and night. I'm speculating that if a job applicant accepts this odd employment policy and gets a phone call at 3 a.m., that person is expected to answer. I'm further speculating that if certain employees are away from work, if they get a phone call from Kim Kardashian, you are bound by this employment policy to stop everything and report to work or do whatever it is that is needed. Can the average company use this odd employment policy and get away with it? No. The average company cannot tell its employees or expect them to be available 24/7, 365 unless the job calls for this to be the case. Organizations that use this employment policy, one that comes to mind is a hospital emergency room staff like nurses and physicians. Even then, it's not 365 days a year. If you pay that employee for their time, you may find employees who are willing to be available 24/7. But I don't believe the average employee will work 365 days a year long term. According to Distractify, as long as you are on Kim Kardashian's staff, everyone is replaceable, meaning you don't get to do the only job that you are hired for. Rather, you will have to work multiple roles and fulfill Kim Kardashian's requests, no matter how bizarre or odd. As a business operations manager, I call that cross-training. If you're looking for a cushy job or a job that will put you in the spotlight, working for Kim Kardashian may not be the place for you. Based on my research, I'm speculating that working for any of the Kardashians is just like any other position. It may be glamorous and fun at times depending on your position, but it's probably a tough job with some odd employment policies. I won't lie, I can't do that 24/7, 365 schedule. That's a bit much for me. Which one of these odd employment policies you would or would not be willing to do if you're hired by Kim Kardashian? Let me know in the comment section below. Thanks for watching.